Hello again. In this video, we will be going over the functionality of the Maptician Map Editor. As you saw in the previous video, the Map Editor serves as our primary tool for floor plan creation, scenario creation, and any edits that need to be made to existing floor plans. Just to clarify, I will be using the words map and floor plan interchangeably moving forward. Now let's begin. When you first create a map, you are asked to give specific details regarding that map. This information includes which office it's assigned to, the floor number, suite number, height, and width. The height and width are going to be the size of your map's canvas moving forward. Although we use the word height, these dimensions translate to your office's length and width. You want to make sure that these dimensions are overall bigger than your office's actual length and width in order to give yourself enough room to work on. On the left side of the screen is your control panel. This is a dynamic reference view that will change depending on what you are doing within the editor and responds to items that you have selected. Starting from the top of the panel, we have 4 buttons labeled as New, Open, Save, and Close. New will start you on the process of creating a new map. Open will open the loading menu to help you locate and open an existing map. Save will save any progress that you have made on the map that you are working on. And Close will close the map that you are currently working on. Don't worry, if you have any unsaved changes, clicking Close will give you a notification window letting you know that you are about to close with unsaved changes. Below these buttons is a thumbnail view of the overall map canvas. Here, you can see where on the map you're currently working on. As well, you can click and drag on this thumbnail to pan around your canvas. You can also see that there is a zoom slider here as well. Directly below the zoom slider is a set of buttons used during the map creation process, first of which is the duplicate button. This will create a copy of a selected wall or object. Secondly is the undo button and the redo button to do the undo action or revert back to it. The button next to that is the grid toggle. Your map's canvas is actually split up by a number of units in equal size. I use the word unit because you have the ability to change the grid size to any dimension that you would like. For example, 1-inch grid squares or 10-foot grid squares. The grid button will allow you to make that grid visible. We will touch on how to change the grid size momentarily. Next to the grid button is a button labeled as grid snapping. This will allow walls and objects to snap to the lines created within the grid. You can also turn this on or off. Similarly to that is the object snapping button beside it. This allows objects, like furniture, to snap nicely beside each other. The second to last button is a snap at right angles button. You can turn this on to guarantee that the walls you draw align to the horizontal or vertical lines created on the grid. Lastly, the delete button will allow you to select an object and delete it from your canvas. Most of these buttons have their own shortcuts. For the sake of time, I will not cover them here, but you can find those resources on the Maptician site for your use. The next section we are covering are the dynamic tabs you see here. When you don't have anything selected, the first tab will reflect the map information. There, you can toggle through and edit basic information, change the dimensions of the canvas you are working on, toggle the grid on and off, as well as change the grid unit size, like how we mentioned previously. The export button will allow you to print the map and save it as a PDF in a wide variety of sizes. The clone button will create a copy of your map in its current conditions. This is recommended if you have to create maps of multiple floor plans in the same building, as they will most likely have similar architecture. The next section is the Objects tab. Here, you will find different objects that come together to create a map. They are categorized by type, the first of which being architecture. Architecture are fixed things within a building, like walls or staircases. Secondly are areas. Areas can either be zones or rooms. This is a way for us to denote specific spaces within a map, like enclosed rooms or departmental zones. The next section is furniture. We have a good mix of furniture found in most office environments. And most recently, we've added beds for shelters or clinics who choose to use the Maptician system. Each of these furniture pieces is customizable and you can change them to meet your map's needs. You can find the furniture settings in the first of the dynamic tabs when you select on them. This is also the same for selecting any walls or architectural features. What was in the map information section becomes the selected objects information and the areas to change them to fit your needs. The last section under objects is the data area. This is the section that really differentiates Maptician from anything else out there. Within Data, you will find Seats. Wherever you place seats in the map editor, you will be able to add assignments to in the Assignments Manager. Map links will designate different entrances to the map. Lastly, points of interest are markers that you can place throughout your map to denote important areas that your occupants may want more information on. This includes, but is not limited to, bathrooms, emergency exits, first aid stations, sanitation stations, coffee shops, and more. The last section is titled Layers. This area allows you to switch visibility of different layers on your map. It is important to note that turning off the visibility does not mean that you will not be able to affect the objects in that layer. In order to ensure that the objects are not changed, you can go to the Layers Lock tab. Here, you can lock layers so that they are not able to be selected or altered. If you still want to turn off the visibility of the layers, simply lock them, go back to the Visibility tab, and turn off the visibility. Overall, this encompasses all of the features within the map editor. Like I mentioned before, there is a shortcuts document available to you to refer to when working within the map editor. Although I covered a large amount of information in this video, it is important to remember that the map editor is constantly evolving in order to improve functionality and add features. Once you get started, you will be able to see how easy it is to use the map editor to create your floor plans. In the next video, I will show you how to set up your organization's office and help you create a basic map layout.